Here at Auto Trader, we're often asked, how do we choose our long-term test cars? Well, in the case of the Ford Edge, it's pretty much a straightforward decision. Effectively, SUVs have replaced the traditional family car, mainly thanks to the styling, but also thanks to their big interiors, huge boots, and the elevated driving position. Above all though, in a country like ours, where the roads have been left to go to rack and ruin, it's the comfort SUVs offer that makes them the default choice. We've had our Edge almost 9 months now, and we've covered over 18,000 miles. And that time, it's certainly proved its mettle. So, I love the way the Edge rides. It's really quite plush the way it travels along the road. So I also like the way the car is very quiet. But don't get me wrong, a lot of this is down to the noise cancellation system that the car has fitted to it. Effectively, what it does is it takes all the ambient noise from around the car, road noise, wind noise, and it cancels it out by filtering a white noise through the speaker system. Whatever it's doing it very well because the car is very quiet. I also love the control weights in the car. The gear shift, the clutch, the steering, all have a consistency of weight to them, which is really neat. Ford might be perceived as being a mass producer of cheap, affordable cars. And to be quite honest, a lot of so-called premium manufacturers can learn an awful lot from Ford and the way they develop their cars. What's more, for such a big car, it's surprisingly agile. So you can nip through roundabouts and zip down B roads with plenty of confidence. So the boot itself is enormous. You can get everything you need in here, no problem whatsoever. On one occasion, I needed to get an old fridge down at the dump. Simply flipped the rear seats down, threw it in, rear door came down, job done. So I've owned plenty of cars with heated seats in the past, and I have to admit I'm a bit of a sucker for a warm seat. But the Edge also comes with cooled seats, which is fantastic because I never thought I'd use them that much, but on these hot summer days, they're an absolute godsend. So as much as I love the Edge, it is a big old beast, so you've got to be very careful in places like this. Multi-storey car parks, narrow streets. The lock's quite limited, and it's quite difficult to see where the ends of the car are. So there are pros and cons regarding the size of the Edge. Sure, I love the space of it. It's also a heavy car, and that's reflected in its fuel consumption. Been averaging about 35 mpg, which is well short of the 47 mpg Ford says it's capable of. There's something that really annoys me is this touchscreen. It's so insensitive. Sometimes it'll work when I touch it once, great. Other times it won't, and I'll find myself prodding away at it like crazy, trying to get it to respond. It really annoys me. Fortunately, I can override the touchscreen with this voice command button. Basically, I press this and I can talk to the car.
Please say a command.
Navigation. I can access my phone book, which is great. I can also control the temperature, which works really well as well. But what I cannot do is program the sat-nav.
Destination. Say address, junction, or place of interest.
Trying to input the destination is an absolute nightmare. It never understands me, so consequently, I just give up on it. When I first saw this 3-point plug, I got really excited. I thought, yeah, I can have a nice little brew back here. I can plug my drill in. But no, really, the problem with it is simply not powerful enough for those sort of devices. It's good enough for charging my laptop, but that's about it. So your automatic parking, that's a bit of a hit and miss affair as well. So let's press the button, indicate right because we want to parallel park on the right. So check out how long it takes to find a space. That was a huge, it's found it, cool. Right, so stop vehicle, select reverse, release the steering wheel, see what's going on in there, and check this out. So basically, because it gets very aggressive with the wheel, there's always a good chance you're going to catch that curb. There you go. So we've hit the curb. We've hit the inside curb. Now, obviously, personally, I wouldn't have done that, but it doesn't seem to recognise the fact that it's going to have to mount the curb on this side to get it into this space. Thump down the other side. Okay, so it's managed to get it in after a fashion. Whoa! Right, so we're finished. According to this system, that's it, finished. Right. That is the worst bit of parking I've ever seen in my life. So I've been running around now along Term Edge now for about 9 months, but I can honestly say I've only seen a handful of others on the road. So what we've done is come down here to Hendy Ford in Winchester. We're going to have a word with the staff just to find out how sales are going and find out what is the most popular specification. The only thing that worries the dealers is the fact that this fantastic orange spice colour is no longer available. They used to love it when they got one in because it kind of just lit up the forecourt and drew people in. We've discovered that there's no such thing as a typical Edge buyer. Basically, people are just as likely to come in for the lower powered entry model as they are for the top end car with the automatic gearbox. I've owned plenty of motors in my time. Loads of them I've loved, but many of them I couldn't wait to get rid of. But to be quite honest, I can't think of many of them that have complemented my lifestyle as well as the Edge. The fact that I almost live in it, I certainly store all my kit in it, the fact that it's so quiet, so relaxing, so easy to drive, means it almost feels like a home from home whenever I get in it.